Now, when one tries to describe Swami Vivekananda in any context, one tries to find out, tries to picture him, one gets the idea that it is like trying to describe a whirlwind. He was constantly moving, constantly changing, being totally always in touch with that divine principle. He was totally immersed in that, unpredictable. So surprising things happen wherever Swami Vivekananda went. And but as far as this particular area is concerned, we're interested, first of all, in what he had to say here. And the message that he was trying to give here wasn't, what was he specially emphasizing in different parts of the world that he visited? He would emphasize the things that were needed in that particular region. And so it is reasonable to say, what did Swami Vivekananda specially emphasize while he was here? And it also must be remembered that as far as Swami Vivekananda's public message or his message to humanity is concerned, basically the last, or the summation, you could say, of his teaching could be thought of as being given here in the Bay Area. After he left San Francisco, he gave a few short talks in New York. He visited the different parts of India, gave talks, a few talks in that area, but generally his emphasis, his basic message, the power behind his manifestation on this earth, you could say that basically he had achieved that, the culmination of that, sort of the summary of what he wanted to say when he was here in the Bay Area. And after that, it was, as it were, a coda, an addition or a summary. So one would like to find out what was his message really in the Bay Area. And he gave certain lectures, like the lecture that is Vedanta, the Future of Religion, in which he emphasized the historical necessity, the historical imperatives that were at work here, that made it a crucial point in his message. So it isn't that one cannot say that his visit to the Bay Area was sort of an appendix, that it was not part of the main message. In many respects, his visit here was a summation, a final emphasis that he wanted to leave with this world, because he knew he would not live long. He had long understood that his life would be limited. And in fact, after he left here, he gave a couple of short lectures in New York. He went to Paris to a congress on the history of religions. He came back to India and he then gave a few lectures there. This was his second return. First time back to India, he gave the message from Colombo to Almora, but the second time it was not that energy was not as much manifest. So one could say that one could maintain that the message that he gave in California was, in a sense, the summation or the essence of what he had intended to say. So this should motivate us to study the lectures that Swamiji gave here. So, but that is a matter that is not just for one talk, that is a matter for study and for each one of us to do and to think about. So the question is what, as far as his actual activities, what is it that he did here in California that was important, and that was significant, and that was something that pointed to the future. And of course we can read those lectures and we can come to our own conclusions. But one view is that he was no longer interested in modifying his message to suit the needs of everyone. That he became, while he was here in this area, he became more interested in getting to the essence of what he was trying to say, rather than to make it a widely appreciated system of thought. And what he finally, the message that he left in this area is what we would call the highest philosophy. This is the Vedanta, the essence of extracting the essence from the scriptures. He gave certain lectures like Is Vedanta the Future of Religion, which he gave in San Francisco. And when you read those lectures, you become aware of that he was really emphasizing the essence that the human personality is at its core, at its center, as its essence, is part of that divine principle, is part of the divine reality, that infinite existence, consciousness, bliss, that Brahman, that the Atman, the soul, the self, these are not just theories. These are realities which are to be understood and studied and practiced in one's life. It isn't just a matter of behavior or a matter of opinion, or a matter of emphasis. It's a matter of essence. What is the essence of our present existence? The essence is that that divine reality, that divine principle is present in the hearts of all. That God is not something that you can adhere to if you want, you can ask favors for, you can use in certain ways to achieve your own ends. The reality of our very existence is that divine principle. So this was the, what is at the heart of everything? What is the essence of everything? The essence is that there is one reality that is at the heart of everything. That when we look around us, what we see is the surface. At the heart of everything, there is only that divine principle. So it is the idea that my own inner reality, the essence of my own being, is that infinite consciousness, is that infinite presence, is that infinite joy. These are the things that should be emphasized. as being at the very heart of spirituality. The other things are important, are necessary, and are highly, frequently discussed. But the essence, the heart, the core of everything is that I am in my own inner essence, in my own reality. It is that divine principle. It is not that I have to go out and find God somewhere, that I have to adhere to this or adhere to that. At the heart of my own being is that divine principle, is that divinity. These core principles is, Swamiji emphasized them throughout his teaching, throughout the years of his public ministry. But it seemed that he emphasized them, especially here in the Bay Area. And when we look at his lectures that he gave here, that is the emphasis that comes out. And this is the mood in which he lived while he was in this area. His mind had reached a state where he saw that divine principle everywhere, and his eagerness was to present that message to one and all. Now, as far as the actual presence here in this area, we know for sure the lectures that he gave at the Unitarian Church in Oakland. We know certain places in San Francisco that he lived. There's one house on Oak Street that he was owned by Dr. Logan, who was one of the president of what became the Vedanta Society for some time here. And Swamiji lived there, and the doctor took care of him. We know certain things, in great detail, and so that we can go to these places, and we can appreciate, yes, a great soul was here, and we can ourselves be inspired by that message. He also the retreat at our retreat at Olima, that Swami Vivekananda spent a few weeks in Marin County at a place that is now Samuel Taylor State Park. We know the place where he camped. We have pictures of the people that he was with when he was in that area. So he lived in this area. He was very much, involved in the teachings, in the essence of things in this area. So it is something that he left here. He said, I don't just speak, I give. What he gave of himself, wherever he went, he gave of himself. And in this area especially, he did that. It is said that he also came to the University of California, and he certainly has reference to that in the history of his being here. So he was in Berkeley, he was in San Francisco, he was in Oakland, he was in Alameda. He spent some time at the Alameda. There was a philosophical society in Alameda called the Home of Truth. He spent some time there. San Francisco, several places that he lived that we know. We have great detail of that. So it isn't, we're talking about someone who came to this area, who gave of himself, who inspired, who left his inspiration here, and we're all still benefiting from that. So on this special day, it's our great privilege to be able to remember that Swami Vivekananda was not just a person that we have volumes of his philosophy, we read his philosophy. We don't see him as an actual personality, but he lived here, he shared this area, he was part of this community. So he is our very own. It isn't something that is strange, or a teacher who lived 10,000 miles away whose teachings we are trying to emphasize. He's a person who was concerned with the development of the people and of the civilization here in this area. So he's our very own, and that is the idea that we should really retain. We read his works, but we also know that he is like our own father, telling us what is right and what he has understood.